Shalom Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Now, I just want to get into a quick topic, just thinking about, the greatness that Jake actually has about us, even though we don't show it, So, just getting into it, this is Deuteronomy 7:6, and it reads, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." And, just thinking about that, us being a special people and above all people upon the face of the earth, hey, those lines right there are clear. We're above all people, what, morally, okay, spiritually, the rights, the rituals, the customs that we have, our integrity, everything is all better than even half of what the other nations could possibly possess. Because we know that they're the beasts of the field, man, pertaining to how they live, things in which they eat. They don't practice, righteous land Sabbaths and different things like that as we used to do when we were in, our power, taking care of the land, taking care of the crops and different things like that. They don't compare to us, man. Just the way that we live in general is a complete clean way because it's guided by the law, statutes, and commandments, that are the instructions for us to guide ourselves, our people, throughout the earth, and for the earth to actually flourish. The ways of Israel is to make not only ourselves, but actually the earth itself flourish. Because what? We can't flourish without the earth, without the soil, without the crops, without, the cattle, the animals, and different things like that. What? Ultimately, you're poor without that, man. And, in these modern times, what Esau create these genetically modified ways, to try to offset, these different things, man, because they're greedy devils, man, But in all other ways, all other nations, they look up to us, man. But, in the meantime, this is how they look at us now. But they're going to be in for that rude awakening, right? Lamentations 2:15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, Is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? Right? Because they look at us, like we dung, like we the filth of the earth, And I was watching something with this guy, and he was saying that they took a poll, amongst Asians and different things like that. And, they were explaining why they didn't like so-called black people. And they were saying that we hate you because you're lazy and you allow yourselves to be dominated, So in one instance, they hate us, but at the same time, they envy us, man. Because it's those little subtleties that they know that's within our character that they ultimately don't have, And why is it that everything we get into, sports, fashion, the way we talk, the way we walk, everything in which Jake do, the other nations happen to follow, man. That lets you know it has to be something truly special about us for that to even take place. You even got NBA commentators, using Jake slang, Jake terms. I was watching a sports clip and that came across my phone this morning, and when one dude dunked on the other dude, the sports commentator was like, yeah, he didn't want that smoke. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know that that's a Jake term. That's a new slang term that Jake used when somebody don't want no problem. So he was saying, on the court with that dunk, that the other dude didn't want no parts of that dunk. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want no problems with that, man. So why is it that they copy off of everything in which we do? You know what I'm saying? And they want to take it and add it unto themselves, man. Because it's just something about these so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that you other nations just cannot do without, man. Period, man. You truly love us. Deep down, you truly love us because you want to be like us, man. You know, that's what it all boils down to. You want to be like us. You don't understand us, so you hate us in one stint. But at the same time, you love us deep down inside, man. You know, they might as well just admit it. You know, yeah, keep it in the sports aspect. You know, just like with David and the things that he was doing. Um, whereas, yeah, sports, you know, fighting, all of that stuff, man. Yeah, Psalms 18 and start at verse 28 says, "For thou wilt light my candle, the Lord my power will enlighten my darkness." And that's what he's doing now. He's enlightening our darkness, man. You know, lighten up the path so that we can see this truth, you know, and that we seeing who we truly are as that royal and that special people that he talks about in Deuteronomy 7:6. Verse 29, "For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall." So these are the things in which we used to do. Said, "For by thee I have run through a troop." And when you look at going into the history, and Lord willing, I actually get into that, man. Brothers know about the Tuskegee Airmen, and then they redid it over. They had the original movie, the Tuskegee Airmen, you know, with I believe, who was it? It was like Cuba Gooding Jr. or somebody else in it. I forgot the old characters that was in it because I saw the old version at a younger age. And then, you know, the newer version, they had Red Tails, you know, and they was talking about how all the other Edomite troops, you know, when they were in the fighter jets, you know, they lost many battles and, you know, and they lost many men. But when Jake came in, I forgot what the battalion was or whatever they called it. But, you know, the sets of Jake that came in, they rarely lost any men, and they won every single battle. So for by thee, I have run through a troop. So Jake run through other armies. What? Because we're superior when it comes to warfare, man. On all levels, we're superior. Okay? And by my power have I leaped over a wall. And when you look at that, what they, you know, Michael Jordan, to this day in NBA history, he has the highest vertical leap. I believe it's like 48, 49 inches, something crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? Jake being able to dunk from the free throw line and beyond, and doing 720s in the air, dunking and all that type of stuff. An Edomite couldn't dream of doing something like that because they don't have that type of skill within them. They don't have that amount of greatness within them. You know? Verse 30, "As for Yahweh, his way is perfect, the word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those who trust in him. For who is Yahweh save the Lord? Or who is our rock save our power? It is Yahweh that girdeth me with strength and maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me on high places. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms." You know, so hey, this is how it is with us, man. All manners of war, battles. You know, the greatest boxers, Jake got the greatest boxers, greatest fighters. You know what I'm saying? Throughout everything in which we do, man. It is nothing more than pure greatness that Jake constantly displays. You know, Jake always displays his greatness in different things. It's just as a collective, we don't display that greatness as us truly being a nation and us truly being the Lord's chosen. And that's because we know what the curses are upon us. You know what I'm saying? But soon or enough, all of that is going to be turned completely the opposite way. You know, because like when you go to the book of Job, damn, Slack, it slipped my mind. Is it the book of Job? All arise without lightness, or is it Psalms 17, 13? Yeah, it's Psalm 17 and 15. It says, "As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness." You know, so hey, when that time truly comes, man, the Lord is going to rise in us in a complete. We already an image of the Most High, you know, a representation of the Most High. But when that time truly comes, you know, we're gonna wake up in the kingdom, because now this hell that we in is nothing more than a dream. But we're gonna arise with the Lord's likeness, a identical spitting image of the Most High, and we're gonna be record shop on all levels, shapes, form, and fashions, man. Just everything that we see in the cartoons, the superhuman movies, superhero movies, and shows and different things like that. That's all about Jake, man. Superman, all these different things. It's all the greatness that they are trying to deny us from. And in the essence of Superman, which represents Yahweh Shah, Kal El, all powerful, and Esau tries to hit us with kryptonite, and that's all these different philosophies, that they hit our people with. Us being in, people worshiping money, people worshiping all these different false gods, people being into the ways of the so-called white man as opposed to the ways of the Most High. These are the ways in which, we're broken down, and they giving us kryptonite to weaken us, man, to weaken us. But ultimately, what the Most High is raising us back up in that righteous stead, man. So Jake truly has that greatness about us, and we're going to truly see that and be a spitting image of representation of that in the kingdom, Lord's will, man. So we have a lot to look forward to, and a lot to ponder on as us being, a princes of the Most High, man. So brothers, keep striving for perfection. You know what I'm saying? And just Lord willing, we'll be about here soon. So with that, I hope this segment was edifying. And I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, the Bawanas to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to Lek out there doing his work of faith and live with love and true sincerity. Shalom.